Okay, good morning. I guess I wasn't live. So we'll go through it again as we ask for the tube of light to surround us, bring up the violet flame, and bring peace to every one of us who are on here today. And we'll ask it to surround our circle that we create in harmony and in light. And we'll also call on Lord Gautama Buddha and his protective blue light to come around us for 4 inches and around our grouping, protecting us from anything of any possible thought or expression from coming and bothering us today. So we'll say our statement. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Very good. Now let's take a breath and bring that down into your heart and allow it to radiate. Good morning, Harvey. Good to see you. Very good. Now, so let's talk about forgiveness. Let's remember that we are always forgiven immediately by Mother, Father, God. There is no need to pray to it or to them for it because it is an automatic. The real turmoil and separateness comes when you're not able, after discovering something either about yourself or somewhere else. Good morning, Barbara. That you're not able to also forgive yourself. And here is where the lesson lies. This is where the journey of discovery of self brings forward. Because what happens is many times as we are living life, we are rethinking that which we think was such a horrible thing that we did, instead of when you do forgive, that you let it go. So just think about your world for a moment. If you could release all the things that you still have concern about that you think at some point you must have done. You know, it goes on and on and on. Even when I'm working with people, we may be working about this and then they'll go right back and blame themselves again. So the ease is in an understanding what we're doing and how we're living is part of our growth. It's purposeful. And we don't have to forgive always what are purposeful things. So if you speak out of anger, probably first off to yourself, or then to someone else, you can just take that energy and lay it down in front of you and bring the violet flame through it, knowing that you wish to let it go, let it be free, and to not hold you in a separate state from the truth of who you are. Because the truth of who you are has a gift of forgiveness, just as God does on an immediate action. Good morning, Carol. So, how do we remember it is probably the biggest question I get. How do we remember to forgive? Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that you're on a life path. And that path is about love. If and when there is a place in your existing life that isn't loving or perceiving loving, and good morning, Lauren, and Julie learning to listen. And you have to become aware of why did you do that? Why are you angry? Because all these patterns have a core issue in the beginning. And if you can begin to, instead of looking at it and, oh, I forgive, you have to go in and find the lesson. What is the core reason why you're angry? And if you can calmly sit with and look at it without attacking the self again, you will find your way to have an understanding, which is a greater love for yourself when you begin to understand who you are. So, wherever it is that your journey is taking you to forgive, you need to understand that there is a possibility of truth and love behind it. But it's not something that, well, I'll just forgive myself again next time. The real lesson is to find the chord, that where it goes to as a patterning, what it is that you're repeating, maybe from eons ago, many lifetimes we've all lived, and wanting to change it. And as you desire to become more of the true love, more of the humility, more of the greater understanding of what God's energy is, then the more that you can allow forgiveness. And of course, our greatest teacher of forgiveness is Jesus. And he will be coming today. For it is he himself who taught people, when he would go to help them heal, to understand that there was nothing to forgive. Because the blame that we've taken on from our ancestors can be huge, depending on where you are in your evolution. And sometimes it's very hard to go beyond that. So let's see if I can think of something here that would be like that would be difficult for you to forgive. So I'm going to say, what about a lie? Because no matter how much you may lie or not in your life, we know that there are lies that we are telling ourselves about ourselves. Or we would have a great understanding of your truth and be excited about who you are. So, what is a lie? A lie is a mistruth, and it has a condition that hopefully makes life easier for you. Isn't that interesting? That something that can be so negative, our brain and our hearts work with it to make it become something that's going to make everything else look better. And therein is the lie, that we're not capable of understanding that we don't have to have lies, that we can just forgive and let it go. So it is quite a entwined experience when you think of forgiveness and all the various experiences and interactions with other people that you've had. And in the basic part of it, it brings it back to you and how you choose to forgive you. And know that whoever is outside of you, and let's say lying to you, is being a mirror. For the only way you would have a life where people don't lie to you is if you're not a liar. So let's contemplate that for a moment. Where is it that it has begun to be a process for you? It could be ages ago, that's how you defend yourself, by lying back, having the bigger lie, having the deeper lie. So our conversation today, I'm hoping, brings you to a capacity where you can begin to hear yourself lie, that you can begin to see and understand why it is even there. Why do you even entertain it? Because we all know, and if you haven't learned this one, you can know that the truth always does come forward. So it's Beth and a greater experience of loving yourself to speak the truth. Well, this is why I believe that. Well, this is why I do that. Instead of trying to hide it, which it's mostly yourself you're trying to hide it from, things that you can't believe. And if I have any questions here, feel free to write them in. Because once you tell the truth, it's over. And you can feel better about yourself. And that's more than important in how you feel about yourself than what other people feel. Sometimes truth hurts, but that's because it's a lesson. And sometimes lessons hurt for you to evolve and become on the other side of lessons. So let's think of forgiveness. Can we forgive ourselves for ever beginning the process of lying, of not telling the truth, or the congestion of judgment and criticism? It makes your field not the clarity that it can be. It makes it dark, twisted, images, voices. It does a lot to your energy field that you're not even aware of if you haven't reached that place where your field is always in a pure harmony. So this is why then you get confused on what's the truth. You may all be looking at me crazy, but I know everyone here has at one point, well, what is my truth? What do I believe? What do I want to say? And you really don't know, because on that process of growing, it's another level of honor of a love that you are, that you're attempting to support, but not quite sure you can trust that part of you that's telling you that. So here we are within the process of the self, wondering, how do I trust? You see how one word takes us to another higher word, and one that perhaps we're still being challenged with in this world. So trust. We must ask ourselves, what's the greatest thing that we could trust in the world? We probably, each one of us, would have a different perception. And it's going to be about God. Now, I understand that's going to be about who has developed their awareness to know when God speaks to them, when they feel it in their heart. But even if you haven't gotten that yet, then it also, too, would be a lie. But when you can feel within your heart and know what truth is and what you hear, then you will begin to become at peace with all these other pieces that are trying to show and determine that they know what they're talking about, when perhaps they don't. So I want you, for over the weekend, because Christmas is coming, to spend some time thinking how you feel about loving yourself with the fullness of your heart. When and if you lie, see if you catch yourself doing that, if it's to yourself or to others. When you're pretending is a huge lie. And I run into a lot of people that way deep inside them are having some pretenders attempt to live out a part of them. So even looking for pretenders is a great evolution of your journey, and it's wonderful. Because when you are someone who every once in a while gets tired, you're tired for all the separate energy that you're holding. You're tired because you're not exuding that free, golden, illumined light of God. Instead, you're clicking it slowly here and there, everywhere, by some other kind of thought. So as we begin to work with this and begin to choose to be in love, choose to forgive and truly forgive, and really listen to people in front of you that are really mirroring you, and then looking, where is that inside me? What am I doing? This is going to be a huge release in the process. So today is our first Wednesday, I think, or I wasn't here last Wednesday. And Jesus is going to talk on every Wednesday. A process building up to Christmas. For he understands that Christmas is about his birth and beginning. And yet, well, let's let him speak. How's that? So, does anyone have any question before I begin? All right. Good morning to everyone, my dear ones. It's been a while since I have placed my eyes upon your energy fields. And what I wish to speak to you about today are your hearts. Yes, take your energy into your heart. Take one hand or the other and place it on your heart. And what do you feel? And for this moment, I want you to realize all the things that go through your mind. And if you do have pencil and paper, write them down. For there comes a day when I will once again ask you to sit within your heart. And I want you to feel the peaceful movement of water, of the ocean, of a lake, where there is no disruptiveness. For love cannot truly be felt in the mess that comes from thinking this, thinking that, doing this, doing that. For a moment here together, let's take a great breath of light. Yes, it's going to be pink, and bring it down into our hearts of peace. That is also the word that my birth is spoken about very much so, is the energy of peace. And you can see how over those years of time it has been forgotten, unless you're speaking of my birth. So I hear someone asking me, was I in peace as I was carrying the cross to the crucifix? What my mind was doing in that moment, connected to my heart, was being with my Father. For I had known that this day would arrive. And just as for any of you, the place to turn to is within your heart, within God. So I was not in that destruction. I was in being set free and knowing that I would live life sitting next to my Father in peace and harmony. This is the level of trust I wish all of you find within yourselves in your relationship with my Father. Dependable, He is beyond that. Beyond dependable. So let's for a moment ask yourself, how dependable are you? And what makes you dependable and what makes you at times not be? All interesting questions to go inside and to understand how you create and make up the world around you and the energy field which supplies you life. Take a breath. Great cleansing. Bring pink light deep into your heart. We need to all come together and begin to radiate pink light throughout the world, beyond the world, into the universe. My only ask is that we do not send all the dysfunction, separation out into and around the world. It has enough. My hope is that by working with Father and going into your heart and finding His peace, it is then and therefore this peace that you can share in to offer to the world, to small children, to adults, to teachers, even to ministers. For peace is that which offers you a doorway to hear, to listen, a doorway to place yourself in and through and to light and find quietness, which I will call peace. How long has it been since you've sat here in this peace of God? And I mean P-E-A-C-E, peace. And perhaps when was the last time you were disturbed from it? That there was so much to do, so much going on, so many emotions that you could not find it. So it is time, dear ones, to really work towards this, to not allow separation to prevent you not to sit in the well of peace of God that lives within you. It welcomes you for an eternity. No, I'm not meaning that you are leaving the earth. I mean that you are beginning to live the earth differently in harmony and happiness and joy. When you can let go of the separation, of the judgment, of the criticism, of the lying and the pretending. Are you ready to let these things go? Are you ready to forgive for any of the moments that you chose to have that action over the peace of God? I can assure you, people will feel this peace within you, and they will respond differently to you when you can hold within your heart the pure golden pink light. And there aren't words, for it doesn't need words, it just is. So when these things come up that you need to have to be interacting with someone, don't become emotional. That isn't where you need to be. You need to be in the peace within your heart with God. And let that influence the truth inside you. and form the words to share what is truth through you. Many, many, many speak their prayers to me every day. Not always do they speak from the peace within their heart. Before they ask for release or help, they do not negate the illusion within them. So I desire to tell you now, there is nothing outside of yourself. Thoughts, words, actions, people who can take away the power that you hold to be in your peace inside yourself. So you must first begin to believe its existence and that you are there as a vessel to receive it. So let's call on peace once again from the heavenly existence of Mother, Father's hearts, and have it come down to sit within your heart and see if now you can even feel more, as if it expands you out through and beyond the earth. Yes, I can see some of you have changed. Allow yourself to root this deep into this planet that you live upon. And in that you are helping the earth. In that action, forgiveness happens. And I am willing comes forward. I am willing to live in peace. I am willing, even though I may hear harsh words, I live in peace. And I smile from the essence of God to the other. And revolution happens in a peaceful way. So I wish for all of you, for you to have a peaceful month. A peaceful experience in life that need not only be in the month that I am born, but then continue after that. For this is what I wish for my experience upon this plane to bring you. Peace and harmony with Father and Mother. And to be able to walk and to share and to talk and to live and maintain it. Each time I walked from day to where I was going, I maintained what my heart was feeling, the love of God, even through to the last moment before I returned. I have set this example for you. So, if you choose, do your best and sit within the peace of your heart, for it will change your life more into what I believe you would desire than sometimes the lost place you find yourself. God loves you as He loved me. Mother cares and holds your heart gently as she did mine. So let's expand this awareness to all who will be ready to hear, if it's nothing but by your action. May they see that. So, many blessings to you, all my friends, my brothers and my sisters. For we are one within the consciousness of my Father and Mother. Become blessing. I keep my eyes closed so I didn't see your question, Lauren. I would say the answer is because you are determined not only to hold on to them, but to determined not to live happy and have joy and peace and harmony in your world. It's what this message was about. Is wherever you do find that, let it go. Turn on the faucet and let it pour out of you. Do not welcome it back, for it is not its home. And place within that emptiness the peace of God. And you will find life will be easier and better. Okay. Lauren says it's okay. Yeah. It's the choice is now not to have that. You can choose. Any other thoughts or Marvy loved it. Hi, Cavell. Thank you for coming today. Sorry I missed you giving you a message yesterday. Julie, learning to listen. This was a good message for you, I would say, for your voice. Yes. So we began with forgiveness. So we can see who we really need to forgive was ourselves. For taking so long to remember that that isn't what we're here for. It isn't what Jesus was demonstrating to us. So many people would think how difficult that would be to live as he did, and yet he walked strong, stood strong towards what he knew he was bringing to all of us, the awareness of peace within his heart of God. So, thank you for coming. Looking for my book because I changed my date for I was told it would be too soon. So, it's going to be on December the 18th, on Monday. The energy, evening of the Bethlehem Star. And I probably have no doubt in my mind you haven't heard it because I know of no one else who does it. And you're welcome to that. It was as wonderful for me as it was for you. Thank you. So many lessons I learned over my time of not feeling like myself. And we don't always understand why that happens. And resolutions still come to me. So let's work this week. Let's take it by a week at a time, or for you, maybe a day at a time. And early in the morning, whenever you're up, call the peace of God within you and see how that changes how you perceive your day or perceive people. Barbara said, this is a very timely message in a world that seems determined to choose war instead of peace. We need to really focus on our own internal peace. Blessings to all for a wonderful weekend. And I will take that one more step, Barbara, to remind you that the world lies within us. That as we each find peace within us, we are increasing the peace of the world. And it's time for people to understand that war is not necessary and doesn't achieve anything. That as we become peaceful and full of joy and happiness, things increase, consciousness grows, and we all become another level of light. All right. Many blessings. I'll see you on Monday for sure. There's not another part of me that can go. So I'm told. So we're on a good road here now. And everything's good. But it's wonderful to see everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And let's be happy that we're all here. Let's be happy that the masters do come and speak to us. And they're more than willing to bring information to all of you. All right. Many blessings to everyone. And my dear friend Jesus wishes the same. Many blessings.